Two teams that just completed a sweep are going up against each other in the conference finals. It's that time of year to talk about my wish list for 2K17, what I'd like to see from a gameplay standpoint. First on my list has to be jump shot releases for all the players in the game. You should never hear the following phrase: yeah, his ratings are good, but his release sucks. This has been a problem for years. There's too many players in this game that have releases that simply don't work. They're inconsistent in timing, and it just ruins the player. It's so bad that when guys go to the park, for instance, they will change their release for the park because they'll say something like, your release doesn't work on the park. I've even seen comments in my videos. I would miss wide open shots at the park, and people would leave in the comments, yo, Smoove, use this jumper instead and you'll be making it splash. You'll be getting green releases. This should not be a problem. A release is just the way it looks. It's to give signature to all the players so that they look like the player that they actually are in real life. A player should not be ruined because his release doesn't have a consistent timing. There also shouldn't be any releases that are so painfully slow that players are no longer open. There's a lot of guys in this game where if you're open with them, their release is so slow that by the time it generates and goes through all the way, a defender can get back into play and contest that jump shot. But in real life, that player has no problem shooting or scoring. A good example is Dirk. His release is so painfully slow and it's terrible in the game. It's awful. You should never hear somebody say that guy's release sucks, that's why I'm not going to use him, because that means you failed with that player's release. Next, we need to be able to steal the ball when players are in the middle of an animation. In 2K16, the only time we can steal the ball is if they dribble it off your feet, off your body. If they do a spin move into your body, behind the back into your body, or even a crossover into your body, your feet, your legs, that's really the only time. But if they're in the middle of a signature size up, you're defenseless. You can't do anything. It doesn't matter if you time the reach in perfectly. You have to either reach in after the animation has played through and it's done, or when they're just standing still. But you cannot do anything when they're spamming the move right there in front of you. That needs to be changed so that you can balance out the dribbling, balance out the defense and the offense in these situations. Next, it shouldn't be possible for a big man to do the best dribble moves in the game. A big man shouldn't even have access to the Jamal Crawford signature size up. If you're a big man, play as a big man. If you want to do dribble moves, make a guard. It looks silly out there, Pro-Am or the park. You see some tall guy doing all these Allen Iverson crossover moves because the moves are still available to them. I don't know why. And that is such an easy fix. Now, the next problem are the attribute caps. They did a pretty good job implementing this in their first year. It's just that the caps are way too low. For instance, I'm a point guard and my speed gets maxed out at 86 and I'm 6'2". It's not like I made some 6'7" point guard. I'm 6'2". That's like the average height. Russell Westbrook, one of the fastest players in the league, he's 6'3". I think Curry, he's 6'1" or 2". You know, most of the guards in the league are 6'1" or 2 or 3. So if you're in that range, why wouldn't you be able to have 90 plus speed? Why is it capped so low? So they just need to make adjustments for each position because they were too strict on the caps. The caps are the right idea to balance out the game. That's why we don't see a bunch of 7-foot small forwards, and that's really refreshing. It makes the gameplay better. But you have to tweak and find this system much better because the caps are way too harsh. And I still believe that our players that we take online should be separated from offline. Offline, you should be able to do whatever you want to do. If you want to make a 7-footer that is as fast as Russell Westbrook and dunks like LeBron James and does crossover, if you want to do that, you should be able to do it. You're offline, you're playing the CPU. Who cares? Have fun against the CPU. When you go online, that's where you need the balance. So you need a different leveling up system. I think it would be a lot more fun that way. Next, I would love to see this help defense redone. Guys are helping when they don't need to help. I have to make a separate video. This is so bad. You can't even talk about this in one video. It's unbelievable. Somebody will drive and the guy that's guarding the guy driving is following. Then the guy in the paint comes over. Then a third guy might come over, but then the fourth guy in the corner will come over. It's unbelievable. There's even a clip in this video that you're watching. I set a screen for somebody on my team and they dribble away and 3 guys go over to that guy. They leave me open for 3 and then I make the 3. Why do you need 3 guys to go follow the guy on a simple pick and roll? And so many times, especially in my career, you'll be looking at that little arrow that's telling you who to guard, and all of a sudden out of nowhere the game wants you to switch and guard somebody else for no reason. The help system makes no sense. A good example is when you double team. Let's say you're playing against a team that has a player that can't shoot threes, and that player is standing on the perimeter. If you double team with the defender that's guarding the bad shooter on the perimeter, you should be good, because whoever you're double teaming, they should have to pass the ball to that guy, and then that guy has to go make a move. But oftentimes when they make a pass, your guys will start rotating as if that guy is a shooter. Somebody will rotate to the guy that can't shoot, then leave a real shooter open for 3. It's a nightmare. The help defense logic and system is an absolute nightmare, and it needs to be fixed. And that's it for part 1 of my wish list. Let me know what you think and leave your wish list thoughts below. I could take more than 3 shots if I was out there playing with LeBron. And you could too. I bet you could score. You right now listening, I bet you could score more than 3 points if you had LeBron James on your team in the NBA Finals. J.R. Smith needs to wake up. He just disappears in the